Hello grade 10s, welcome back to the first video for accounting for this year. So hi, I hope you guys are well. If you would like an academic companion, somewhere where you can rely on for your academics, this is the channel for you. Please consider subscribing, as there's a lot that you will get from this channel. So I am here to show you the topics of term 1, everything that you have to do for term 1, and what I will be doing in this video. So for your term 1, I will just make this 2 videos for this term. So we will start with topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and topic 4 in this video. So I'll be talking about this 4 topics. They are small topics, so I can just cover them in one video. And then topic number 5, it's a bit lengthy. You can see we have in this book, we have from 35 to 113. So it's a bigger chapter where we'll be doing accounting equation. You have been introduced to an accounting equation grade 8 and grade 9, so we will be getting deeper into accounting equation next week, same time, same place. So the very same day when this video drops this week will drop the same day, the same time next week. So I don't know, I can't say whether it will be a Tuesday, so let me just say the same day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, share with your friends, and without wasting any more of your time, let's get into it. All right, so we will be doing an introduction to accounting. So this is a welcoming you guys for choosing accounting. It has a lot of opportunities. It's not a difficult subject. You just have to pace yourself, practice, and love accounting. It will love you back, trust me. Okay, so you just have to love accounting, and accounting will love you back. So skills for grade 10 learners. What can I do to improve my concentration in class? Sit at the place in class where you concentrate the best. Do not sit at the back, okay? So sit where you concentrate the best. If it's at the back, then it's fine. If it's in the middle of the class, sit there. If it's in front, do that. But do not prioritize hanging with your friends during class hours and not committing to your schoolwork. Make notes while the teacher teaches in class. Okay, listen attentively, ask questions, and make notes. Get actively involved in the lesson. That is how you are able to learn accounting. So don't get left behind. If you do not understand, raise your hand, sir or ma'am, I don't understand, and they will explain everything to you. Okay, listen critically what the teacher says. Think, I do not understand what a teacher is saying, and ask yourself the following question: can it be true whatever the teacher is saying? So try to be involved in the class. Okay, it will help you a lot, and those are the tips for at home. You can go through them yourself. How can you prepare? Accounting is just like maths, guys. You just need to practice, do your homeworks. So an easy way for you to practice is actually through doing your homework. So let's look at informal accounting. So what is formal accounting and what is informal accounting? So you will see people who sell vegetables, sweets, chips, cutting hair, have a telecom line where people can phone, selling second-hand clothes. But this one of the telecom line is no longer a popular thing now. But hey, that's what used to happen back in the days. You would have someone who has a telecom line where you could just pay the person to use their phone to call somebody, and you will pay per minute. So the capital used by these people is limited. They normally start with money that they put in the business for the first day and use the money that they receive for that day to buy stock for the next day. So you have 10 rand, 100 rand, you can just make fat cakes for 100 rand or buy sweets, sell, and then you will use your proceeds from selling to buy stock for the next day. So that is those are the type of people who are in informal accounting. So their aim is not to make a big profit, but to survive every day and to have enough money to buy stock for the next day. All their stock is bought cash and they normally sell for cash. Okay, this type of businesses normally has limited assets, so they will maybe have a table that they can sell their goods from and do not have many expenses. So the selling price can change often because it depends on the purchase price of goods and the owner's decisions. Okay, so let's talk about formal accounting. Accounting is a form of communication that is used to convey a specific message about the finances of a business. So you must know that is finance, that is accounting. It is a way of communication. When you want to know how the business is doing, you just have to look at their financial records. So that is accounting. So you will be able to know, those records will be able to communicate to you whether this business is making profit or not. So it is essential that the receiver of this message understand it, otherwise the information will have no value. So in our daily lives, various things are repetitive in nature. If we do not have guidelines to guide our actions may be inconsistent. So in informal accounting, the owner of the business records however they want. They do not have to adhere to a certain standard. But with formal accounting, there are international standards that regulate accounting, the ones that you're going to be learning in school. So you're going to be learning to prepare financial statements and accounting, communicating with the guideline of the International Financial Accounting Framework. Okay, so you will learn about that. So formal accounting focuses on an international understanding of accounting. So informal one, you just write in your notebook whatever and however you want to write it. Nobody will say anything. But if you want your business to grow and you want to submit finances in a more broader way for people maybe to invest, you need to your financial statements to be prepared according to international standard, which is formal accounting. So that's the difference between informal and formal accounting. So yeah, let's talk about selling price and cost of sales. Selling price is the amount in which you sell a goods for. Okay, if you go to a store and buy sweets, the amount that you pay to buy those sweets, that is the selling price in which the owner of the shop is selling the goods for. Now, cost of sales is money that was used to buy those goods that you are now buying from the spaza shop. So that money that the spaza shop owner used to buy those packet of sweets, well, they charge them one by one, is cost of sales. So cost of sale is how much you paid for the goods you are selling. So remember, you need to be introduced to cost of sales. You need to know also selling price. In order for you to get a selling price, you're going to take your cost of sales, which is cost price. You add a percentage, which is called a markup. That is how much profit you will make. So you bought sweets for 2 rand. Your markup is 3 rand. So you're going to add 2 rand plus the 3 rand. That will give you a selling price of 5 rand. So 5 rand is the amount of money which your customers will pay to get the sweets that you are selling. Let's look at ethics. Ethics is good conduct. Okay, that is ethical. When you're being ethical, you are doing what is right. Let's say you are a doctor, and when you are a doctor, a patient comes to you, and then the patient, you examine the patient, you find out what is wrong with the patient. Another person who is related to the patient comes to you and say, doctor, what was that my brother, maybe it's you were the patient, and then your brother comes and asks your doctor, what's wrong with my brother? The doctor does not have a right to tell your brother what is wrong with you. There is patient-doctor confidentiality. So whatever you discuss with your doctor cannot discuss with other people unless you have given them permission. So the doctor will be unethical if they discuss their patient's problem with other people. So that is ethics. So we have something called a code of ethics. So a code of ethics is a statement of norms and beliefs of the business describing acceptable behavior in the workplace. So the code of ethics, everybody in every workplace, there's a code of ethics which describes to people working there what is acceptable behavior. In this business, in this organization, in this institution, in this family as well, there is acceptable behavior. Even in your house, you know your parents, the behavior that they accept. It makes it possible for every person involved in the organization to know. It makes it possible. So having a code of ethics makes everybody in the organization to know and understand what is considered right and wrong in specific situation. So most codes will value honesty, integrity, and diversity. So you must have integrity and must be honest. So 2 principles of ethics. So let's talk about ethical conduct. Conduct, how you behave. How do you conduct yourself? So the word ethics is defined as a set of moral principle of a professional according to which a person should behave. So in every professions, lawyers have their code of ethics, doctors have their code of ethics, teachers have their code of ethics. Everybody, every professional have their own set of code of ethics. So both employee and employer have a responsibility towards themselves, fellow colleagues, clients, and professionals to act morally and ethically. So it is very important. Both employee and employer should be involved in setting up a code of conduct for conduct of a business. So when a code of conduct of a business is being set, the employer and the employee should be involved to help set the code of conduct. So it covers ethical conduct. Basic principles of ethics cover conduct, how you should behave, and then it also covers leadership. So if you are a leader, you are not supposed to abuse your power. You should treat your counterparts with respect. So if you are a boss and you've hired people, you cannot misuse your power. Okay, leadership is a position or state of being in control of a group of people or an organization. So a leader has to take control and people have to follow. So good leadership is visible when the follower obey the leader because they respect what the leader says and does. So the leaders have to lead with integrity. That's what is one of the principles of ethics. So another thing ethics deals with is discipline. Employees must work and behave in a controlled way, and this involves obeying specific rules. So a disciplined person is able to follow rules that are set for them. Okay, the code of ethics describes acceptable behavior in the workplace and consequences for incorrect behavior. So how should a person be corrected is discipline. When they are out of line, how should their bad behavior be corrected? That is discipline. And we're talking about transparency. Transparency is when you go to a doctor, or let's say you're going to buy medication, and the person who's selling you this medication is not telling you what this medication does fully. That's why in a bottle of medication you will be told how to take the medication, what can happen if you use this medication in a way that you're not supposed to. So that person who sells the medication is being transparent. So transparent is telling the truth upfront. So transparency means that behavior must be such that it is clear that you have nothing to hide. Okay, and then it also covers accountability. Being accountable means taking responsibility of what you say and do and being able to justify your actions. So whenever you have done wrong, you will be called to explain why you did what you did. That is accountability. If you're able to do wrong and people come and have to ask you why you did that, your parents always hold you accountable. If you come home late, they will come and ask you. So them coming to ask you so that for you to explain why you are late, it's you having accountability. So fairness. Fairness is the quality of being responsible and just. So there has to be fairness and just. There must be, people must be just. Okay, so it means that you judge a situation objectively and without bias or any preconceived ideas. So when someone brings their grievances or their problem to you as a boss, you listen to both sides and do not judge without facts. It also covers sustainability. All businesses need to act in a way that shows respect towards the environment. So when you are ethical as a business, you're not supposed to harm the environment. Your business operations are not supposed to be harming the environment. It covers also responsible management. Okay, responsible management takes into account three important things, often called the 3 P's: people, plant, profit. So if you are a responsible manager, you consider people. How is this business going to affect people? How will it affect the planet? Okay, and how will you still make sure that the business is making profit while it does not harm the planet, and it also doesn't harm people? So it also covers integrity. Integrity can be defined as honesty, efficiency, sincerity, and honesty towards oneself, the upholding of value and norms. So success in a business can only be achieved when employees and clients respect the integrity of the business. So when you are being honest, always telling the truth, you have integrity. And then confidentiality, as I have said, confidentiality. Most information in businesses should be kept confidential, meaning you can keep a secret, so you have confidentiality. Okay, it's important that employees should not leak information that is intended only for the business to people outside the business. So everything that happens in an organization that you work for, you're not supposed to take those things and leak that information out. You must have confidentiality. So objectivity is described as the ability to act in an unbiased way. So if you are objective, you do not take sides, you look at the facts and judge fairly. That is objectivity. And then professional ability and proper care. When offering professional service, one offers more knowledge, skills, and experience, care, and diligence. So professional people should not render service for which they are not qualified unless they can obtain advice and assistance. So the code of conduct says you cannot act as a doctor while you didn't go to school to study and be a doctor. So it is very wrong for you to pretend like you know medicine while you don't. Let's talk about professional conduct. This concerns the conduct in the workplace of all the people connected to an enterprise. So a professional conduct is, if you are a lawyer and work in a law firm, how are you going to conduct yourself? So that is the conduct that relates to the workplace, not necessarily at home. What you do after work is your own business. The last one is technical standard. So each employee should have all the relevant technical and professional skills that his or her position requires. So you cannot work a position that you are not qualified for as well. So you must have a certain standard to be a matron in a hospital and for you to be a nurse. There are regular nurses and there are matrons. A matron is someone who has studied more and has more experience than a normal nurse. So it's important ethics will be integrated with all the topics and will continually be assessed as we advised with the study guide. So just know that you'll always be asked ethics. Sometimes you'll be given a scenario and be asked to give your thoughts based on what you know about ethics. So you must know ethics. All right, now we are on accounting policy. In our everyday life, we often come across circumstances that are repetitive in nature, but may in each instance have different results if we were to act differently. So we do not have guidelines to indicate how we should act. Our actions may be inconsistent. So accounting policy requires that accounting financial statements should be consistent. That's why there's something called accounting policy. Okay, so accounting policy is sets rules and guidelines on how financial statements should be prepared. So that is the accounting policy. So the accounting policy publishes accounting policy. As the accounting policy represents a business decision on factors that could be managed in different ways, it is necessary that the business publishes the accounting policy it will use in its financial statement. A business should, for example, indicate how depreciation of vehicle equipment will be calculated. You will learn about vehicles and equipment later. So, an accounting policy you should know. We have the International Financial Reporting Standards and other bodies governing accounting. So, you should let the person who is using the financial statement to know which accounting policy are you using. Okay, the one that is mainly used in South Africa is the International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS, or you are using the Gaap or the Gaap principles. So you are going to learn about the International Financial Reporting Standard. It's more covered in the university, but you in grade 10 you will learn about Gaap, generally acceptable accounting practice. So that is the one that you will be knowing more about. So Gaap, it's called generally accepted accounting practice. So after being approved by the accounting standard boards, that is the way in order for you the route to become a chartered accountant. We're not going to go into that, but we are going to be talking about the Gaap principles. When we talk about the Gaap principles, you must know this, guys. Like, you're going to be assessed on these things that I'm doing in term 1, in term 2, and in term 4. In term 3 is the only term that you will not be assessed, but they can assess you. So just know, especially the accounting, the Gaap principles, know them. When we're talking about historical cost says all assets should be recorded in their historical cost. So if a business bought a vehicle in 2016, in the books of the business today, in the balance sheet, that vehicle or car should be written at the price that it was bought in 2016. So you can't change the cost price of that car today. Okay, so if we bought land and building 2 years ago at a cost of 500,000 and enter it in the books at that price, and the asset is revalued today at 650, the amount that will be entered in the financial statement will still be 500,000. So you cannot change the cost of a asset. We have prudence. When accountant is uncertain about the value of an element or event, the prudence principle must be applied. So this means that the accountant who prepares the financial statement should be conservative in the approach to the uncertainties. The value that has the least influence on the entity must be used. So prudence says you must record every transaction in its original cost. So if you paid 500 for something, record it as 500. If a debtor is in financial difficulty, the accountant may write his account off, even though the business will continue to do everything possible to receive the money debtors owe. If a person is not able to pay back the money they owe to the business cancels them on their books. They write them as bad debts, but even though the business is still going to try and send letters to the person who owe them to try and recover the money. So prudence, record everything the way it should be recorded. So materiality says when something is going to benefit the person who is reading or making use of your financial statements, that item that you let's say you have bought land and buildings, it should show on the balance sheet that you bought land and buildings for how much, so that it is important that the person who's making financial decisions will be able to see, oh, this business has bought an asset. Even your debts, people that you owe, you must show them at the face of the financial statement. That is materiality, to know, for a person who's using those financial statements to know that this business has debts. So the business entity rule says the expenses of the owner must be kept separate from the expenses of the business. So if the owner takes 200, let's look at this example. If the owner inherits 500,000 from his or her grandmother, the money will be deposited into the owner's personal bank account and not in the business account. You see, so the accounts of the owner are kept separate from the account of the business. That is what we call the business entity rule. Let's go for going concern. Going concern says financial statements of a business should be prepared in a view that the business will continue in future. So you must not prepare the financial statements as if the business is not going to continue in future. Going concern is you prepare them with the view that, with the thought or belief that the business will still continue in the future. Stock, fixed deposit, land and buildings are not valued on the basis of the amount that would be received for them if they were sold immediately. So you don't write assets the value of an asset goes down. When you buy a car, you drive out of the dealership. If it was 200,000, it's no longer 200,000. Okay, so that is why we use historical cost, because historical cost means this business is a going concern. And then matching principle. Matching principle says you must record expenses and income in the year in which they occurred. So if we got money this year, we record it this year. If we have worked this year, let's say we have delivered tables to a school as a business, we have delivered the work, but the Department of Education has not paid us, we record that money in this year, not next year. We perform the work in 2024, but we are paid in 2025. No, we record that work for 2024, not 2025. So that is matching principle. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Until the next video, let's meet again next week, same time, same place.